It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from thejasminebrand.com is here.
Yes.
And Daniel Caesar is here. This is your first time ever sitting with us.
Yeah, in this building. It's our first time meeting.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming, and congratulations on a new album.
Thank you.
Never Enough. So I had a question. You live in New York?
Yeah.
Why? So I want to ask you this because a lot of people do not, like I find in the music business, you know, New York is not the place that people really have been wanting to live lately. Why do you like New York?
It's pedestrian.
Mm-hmm.
It's I like anywhere I can walk around and like get to know. It was really cool because it seems like such a big city, and then one day, a couple months into living at my spot, I noticed the same people walking past my house, and I was like, "Oh, I'm in a community."
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, when you like recognize
yeah,
the
you
local
recognize
homeless
people.
person or like the girl. There's one lady that walks around. She's got a pig that she walks around my
Wow.
apartment.
Pig.
That is so New York.
So weird, but yeah, I just like the people are more. I find them to be more interesting. I don't think I'd live anywhere else in America but New York.
That's nice to hear because I'm from New York.
She's a New Yorker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a New Yorker, and so many people, like, when they come here, they don't love it because it can be kind of a cold place.
I didn't like
And
when I
rest-
first came.
Yeah.
What didn't you like about New York when you first?
It's just daunting. It's so chaotic, and if you don't find where you belong, then it's kind of like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is weird, and it's like it's also boring because there's so much weird stuff that I have no business, you know, going to check out. But you just have to find which I guess can be said of any city.
Right,
to be
find your
honest.
tribe.
Yeah.
Find your tribe. But I found it, and I like the type of person that likes New York. I like that type of person.
Okay. And you're from Canada. Are you from Toronto?
Toronto, just
right.
outside. But.
Just outside Toronto. And so I read that you bought your parents a farm. Like
Yeah.
a huge farm. So what's that like when you go there? And do you look forward to that? Because I think going from New York to like a farm is completely opposite.
Yeah, and I'm a big duality guy, you know. So like I love going over there. It's very peaceful, and that's my parents. Like that's their whole MO. Is like they're very just like
Chill.
calm, chill, peaceful. Like they built their own garden. I helped them build a garden over COVID, so they got like a big ass, just like tomato and vegetable garden in the back. And
It's like real farm to table.
yeah, it's real far. It's not. It's like it's just a house with a lot of land. It's
Are
not
there
really.
animals?
There's no animals.
Okay, I was wondering if you're like milking cows and stuff.
No. We got a bunch of dogs. We got like 6 dogs.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Now your parents are Jamaican?
My father's Jamaican.
Okay, and your mom?
Barbados.
Okay, Barbados. So you have a nice
I'm a
mix.
Caribbean boy.
Yeah, people love Toronto for that mix too.
Yes.
Listen,
Yeah.
the guys used to always be like, Carabana, I gotta go. I've never been to it, but
Yeah.
did you grow up going to Carabana?
No. I was a 7-day Adventist, and it was always on Saturdays. So my parents were like,
Yeah, because you
none of
church is
that.
on Saturday at 7-Day
Yeah.
Adventist.
Yeah.
So explain, because I don't know that much about the religion. So even when it comes to like the music that you do and everything, and I know you grew up in the church. So was that something that was like hard for you? I don't know that much about Seventh-day Adventists, but was it, oh, you're going to be doing this secular music or?
Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. But it's like we came up. It's kind of like I describe it like Pentecostal meets Judaism.
So
or
Pentecostal
something.
kind of like they be catching the Holy Ghost and that kind of stuff.
You know what? Then that's not. They don't. We don't.
That's
do that.
that's Pentecostal.
Yeah, that actually spooks. That spooks us
That
out.
spooks you. Okay.
I don't know. It's just Christian, but we just worship on Saturday. There's like a couple things that are like more Judaism that we abide by, but like no pork and.
Okay.
Do you eat meat but no pork or
I was raised vegetarian.
vegetarian? Okay.
Yeah.
And then is it something like you can't drink during your meal, like, or something like that, or did I make that up?
Well, it's just not encouraged. It depends how they have like a strong health message. My father, like my dad was actually, he's a bodybuilder back in Jamaica growing up, so he's like he's a very disciplined, like healthy man, and so yeah, things like he always told me if I drink liquids and eat while I'm eating soup, I'm gonna catch colic. Which I don't even know what that is.
I haven't heard that, but I did hear that 7-Day Adventist you're supposed to eat, then you drink for some. Well, okay.
That's what I've been told that, but I don't think that was a.
I don't know.
It's like a big deal.
I'm not sure why.
Okay.
What's your relationship now like with God? Because I read this quote and you said something like you believe you don't so much believe in God, but you believe in God in yourself or something like that? Or did I take it out of context?
No, it's complicated, I would say. I believe, I believe I never understood the whole God thing. I think because I just had this idea of a white guy in the sky with a big beard. Whatever God is, I know that the only time I've ever felt close to it is when the music hits.
Okay.
When the choir goes crazy and you get those goosebumps and the hair stands up. That's the only time where I'm like, there's something going on.
Right.
Outside of that, for me, like, I've never, like, maybe once or twice, like a good sermon or something like that, but it's always just like music is. And so outside of that, I don't like to concern myself because I can get a little neurotic with things, and if I think about things too much, I just go off the rails. Because I need things I need absolutes and logic, and
Gotcha.
then you can't understand God. So
Okay, but spirituality, you understand.
yeah,
I feel like Please Don't Lean has a bit of a gospel tinge to it too.
oh, for sure, that's the yeah. I can't. It's in me. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I was raised on. So it's like it flows out of me.
And then, so this is your first time doing a release with a major label, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
That
Yeah.
is a big deal because independently you were doing amazing, right? And then it feels like, the pandemic hit, and I know that affected a lot of people, but then you ended up signing a deal. So what made you decide this was the time for you to do that?
It was. I think the pandemic, everything felt like it had stopped, was slowing down. I had just a lot of drama had been happening in my life, and I felt like I'm in a cycle, I'm in a rut, and I wasn't excited about things. I was just like, oh, it's just more of this for the rest of my life. Like this was fun back when we were coming up, and now it's not fun anymore. Like I need a new thing. And then I was just, the idea of a major label was in my mind, and I was like, if I don't do it, it's because I'm scared, and I hate that feeling. You know what I mean? So it's like I was just like, I got to do it.
So what was the fear about? Why would you be afraid?
Fear of the unknown.
Okay.
And also
Yeah.
I have a deep general like distrust for the corporate, anything like corporate, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And so it's like, yeah, but I think I'm smart enough to handle myself in these spaces, and like, you know what I mean?
Do you feel the difference?
For sure.
Okay. So for people out there, because, people, and I think the best way to do it is to start out independent, because it helps you kind of be your own machine and know what it is so that you know what to ask for too. And sometimes people sign a deal super early on and they don't even know what it's like to run their own business. They don't know what to ask for. They don't know what the expectations are because you've managed to do so much for yourself. A label should be able to take it to the next level for you then.
Exactly. And also, it's people, you build a team of people that know you, and then it's like boutique. You have a tailor-made, your strategies are all based off of you. When you go to a label, if they don't know who you are, and you're not, a lot of artists we're figuring out who we are. We just do things based off of feelings. So you go into a business meeting and you're trying to explain how you feel and what you are, and they're like, it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the beginning, we were making decisions purely based off of feeling, and that's allowed when it's just you and your friends.
Right.
But when you go into they're like, yo, we just gave you X amount of money.
Yeah.
Don't come talking about your feelings.
Yeah, we
and
don't
your,
care about
and
your
your
feelings.
You know what I mean? But now it's like, now that I've signed at this point, I've proven that I can do this. Like, I'm actually a professional musician.
Yeah.
And so I get more leeway. We have a mutual respect at this point. They respect my ability.
Were there deadlines? Because I know you signed a deal and they probably like, okay, right to work. But, it did seem like you took your time with putting this album together.
For sure. And it was like self-imposed deadlines, because also I could, if you were like, yo, you could work on this album another 4 years, I would.
You would have did it.
I would have did it.
You really?
I could, yeah, I can. At a certain point, it has to be ripped from my hands.
Oh, because you'll just keep going.
I'll just keep going.
Do you find yourself overworking a song?
I have before. There's some songs that, not very many, honestly, but there's some songs not on this album, but on previous ones where I was like, damn, the best version of that song was like 3 versions ago, and I
You
messed
kept
up.
going.
I shouldn't have. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
What do you prefer performing? Your more stripped down songs where it's more like acoustic with you and a guitar, or do you like? Because on this album, you do have songs that are a little different for you. You know,
Yeah, the turn. I've never really got this turned up on some of these songs. I personally, I love. My favorite songs are the songs that I can literally not sing and the crowd will sing the whole thing.
Okay.
I bet. Yeah.
So the simplest.
Do you remember the
ones.
first time that happened to you, where the crowd sang everything, and you just kind of were quiet?
I don't. I just know it was like the first time that conscious of it was like a festival probably in 2017, and I was maybe like San Francisco or something like that. But
What song do you think it was? Do you remember? I'm sorry, I
it's
just want to know.
always best part.
I can
It's
sing that
always
song
best
word for
part.
word.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's like a wedding song.
It's just forever.
it's one of those ones. I don't
That's gonna be around forever.
forever. Yeah,
Yeah,
it feels
that's a
like
classic. And you know how rare that is to make a song like that. That's a classic that people are like, I want that song at my wedding. And that wasn't even, I'm sure, planned for that, but that is just like the perfect, okay, we getting married, best part. That's like the in love, you know.
It's the new one. It's like I feel just like my Stevie song or something. Like, you know what I mean?
What inspired you with that song? What was going on in your life? Sounds good.
No, I think at that point I was broken up.
Ooh. Your body language is telling it all, right?
I know. I'm like fidgeting and like No, yeah, I was broken up at that point, but it was just that's the type of at my core. That's the person that I am. I'm just like a simpy romantic, like, you know, and so Gabby was just the best. We sat down, and it was like, I think you're amazing. I think you're amazing too. We should pick up a guitar. And then the first thing I played, and it just flowed out. It was just so easy. It wasn't like I was stewing on the idea or anything. It's just like, blah, blah, blah. It just flowed out.
So it wasn't written before. It wasn't done before.
No.
You guys kind of did it at the moment.
In the
That's
moment, that
amazing.
song took about maybe like 4 hours total.
Okay.
And at the end, we spent another 4 hours talking about how we just made a classic song.
So
We
you,
knew.
so y'all-
You knew.
they
We knew.
Okay.
We knew.
That was that. So I'm shocked at that because it was a breakup that made you write that song.
It was just kind of like, I did the whole, we're broken up, we're together, we're broken up for so long. It's kind of like, I don't even know. It's just a close friend that I beef with all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
I like that's a nice way to
That's
put
a
it.
good way.
yeah, you know?
Kind of like, oh, you always love her.
Exactly.
Always.
Yeah, I always got love for her. But, yeah. But you know what, actually, is a funny story, is, I lied, the chorus I had written, and I tried that chorus on maybe 3 other songs. Because I do that, like, I'm very frugal with my songwriting. So if I write something, it doesn't come out, it's like a rap verse. I'll just try and put it on this next beat or this next instrumental that I make. And I had tried this song on three other songs, and my producer that was with me, when I pulled it out in that session, he started laughing. He's like, bro, like, you're never going to let this song die. Like, just
Well,
let the
good
chorus,
idea.
give up on the chorus. But then it worked, and it was, yeah, I knew it was going to work.
Now talk about experimenting on this new album though, because like you said, you've done some different types of sounds on here. Was that your idea, or was it people around you that were like, let's, try something a little different? And are you a person that's open to that initially?
Yeah, honestly, if anything, it was absolutely my idea. And if anything, I had people around me to remind me that I shouldn't alienate my fans. Because for me, I would have just completely, I would R&B, like, especially after Best Part or something like that. It's like, all right, I got that. I figured that one out. Like, I like to try and learn new things and conquer things. So like with a Shot My Baby or something like that. Like, that was the stuff that was getting me excited. Like,
Jasmine likes that song.
we're pushing
That's my
forward.
favorite.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I always, when I think about that one and like Unstoppable, those ones make me think of the first time I ever heard Runaway. I remember I was in my parents' room because they had the radio in their room, and they were out at work or something, and I was like lying on their floor, and I heard Runaway, and I remember thinking like, this is the gold digger guy. Like, you're allowed to do this. Like, I didn't know, because it's like you have, this is not like, I just want to be like an R&B artist, but like, you may shot my baby. Like, what does that even mean? What does that mean for genres? What, like, yeah.
You don't want to be put in a box of anything.
I hate boxes.
Yeah.
I hate them.
And then you have Summer Walker on the remix, and you got Rick Ross on the remix too. So you put out these additional songs, you know, as well. I love that too, because Always, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have said Always is their favorite song on the album. You know, so I, you know, like that idea. So was it Summer Walker? You have been in conversations for you guys to do something together, or did you hear it and be like, okay, I want to get her on this?
Yeah, it was just the song had been sitting around for a while, and we were just talking about like, yo, we should get someone on this, and I was just like, oh, Summer, obviously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
Right.
it's Summer. Yeah.
Did you work with Raphael Sadiq on this project?
Yeah.
Okay. How was that?
That was fun. That was probably some up there for my favorite sessions on this project. He's so sick.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's just the coolest guy ever. And so we did a 2-day session, and the first day was great. We made some cool stuff. And then the second day, we were working on this song on Do You Like Me, and he brought in Dylan Wiggins, his nephew. And Dylan is going absolutely crazy right now. Like every good album that's out, like Dylan is producing on it.
Gotcha.
And we just clicked in that session really well. And then I was just like, oh, I want this guy to produce the whole thing.
Okay.
And how many people, like, who are some of the people that you feel surreal to have worked with? I know you wrote for Mary J. Blige before too, and I can't even imagine what that experience was like, because she just seemed like she would be real super cool to be in.
She was just in there. She has her candles she likes. She loves
Hookah?
Twizzlers.
Twizzlers. Okay.
Twizzlers.
You do like this.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I know he's not saying a blunt, but like.
No. She
likes
loves
Twizzlers? That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a little fun fact.
I know. It was cool. Yeah. It was great. And
Get
then
a Twizzlers endorsement.
Yeah. I know we gotta hook her up with the. I love those Twizzlers. And Brandy. Brandy was crazy. Brandy loves, and I don't think she is like a World of Warcraft head. It's so
That's
crazy.
interesting.
Really?
Yo, she loves World of Warcraft, and that was like, it made me love her so much. I was like, in 1,000 years, I never would have guessed that you fuck with World of Warcraft. And she like, she has like a few accounts. She's like, yo, I could sell this account for like 10 grand.
That
or
is
whatever.
so random, by the way.
So random. It was really cool though. I really, she's amazing. Sometimes I'm like, there's no way she's a real person. She's just like so sweet and like regal.
And she could sing.
Her voice is beautiful too.
Sing insane.
Now, you also worked with your brother on this album, right? Didn't he also write and co-produce Valentina?
He did.
Okay.
He wrote the there's a reference track out there that I'm gonna leak one day, but he like came up with it. It's his concept, and then I took it and ran with it.
So you've never been a side piece?
No. I have, but I don't believe in that anymore. I'll never do it again.
So he has, but he won't.
Why
He won't circle the block on that.
Yeah, why you say you'll never do it again?
I was saying this to someone the other day. Even if you can be with the woman that's being unfaithful on her man, you shouldn't, because it jades your whole world. And there's nothing scarier than being with a woman, and then like her boyfriend calls or something, and you see, and she lies to him, and you realize like he will never find out, and you know he'll never find out, and you're like, oh, they're so much smarter than us, and then it just gets so, it's like, I'll never do it again. I've seen it, and I was like, oh no, I don't like this.
Yeah, then
this
you feel
feeling.
crazy because you got to be quiet.
Yeah, you
like,
gotta
probably
be
there, mad quiet as a mouse.
Yeah.
Were you famous at the time? Were you well known, or is this pre?
Yeah.
You were known at the time.
Yeah, I was.
Can you? Oh, that's so funny to me.
Yeah,
Like, shh,
it's
my man's
crazy.
calling, be quiet.
And then it's like sometimes it's
And
like
he
a
lying
guy.
there
He
feeling
might
crazy,
look
like-
like you or something. It's like, bro, this could just be. It could so easily be me. It might be me one day if I'm not careful. Like I gotta like get my karma right. But
Now, Toronto 2014 is also a song on the album, and that is a special time for you, special place. So what do you put, obviously, like you dream of being successful. This is where you want to be. When in 2014, I'm sure you could never have envisioned,
yeah,
what's happening for you now, but it does come with its challenges.
Yeah.
right? So can you talk about like just the difference in life between Toronto in 2014 and Daniel Caesar here in New York in 2023?
It was simpler back then. Like now, you have to worry about how you're perceived by other people. And before, it was like I would only worry about it when I felt like worrying about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you go back to pictures, I was a dusty kid, you know what I mean?
I'm mad you called yourself Dusty.
I was dusty, crusty, musty.
All the usties.
All the usties, man. And it was fine. Like, that's always been, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's always kind of been...
Your vibe.
My vibe, because I'm
I got a
like...
dusty vibe.
I make music. I'm really good at that. I'm not a model. I'm not like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I can get up, get out of bed, and do what I want, as long as I end up in the studio at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's kind of like, yo, I can't just get out and go down to the bodega looking any kind of way, because people
Right.
stop me and they're like, yo, how's it going? All
You
the
gotta
time, you know what I mean?
moisturize. You look well moisturized today.
I did, but you know, I on God, I walked out of the apartment this morning. I looked down and my knuckles were white.
Were they?
White.
Do you lotion after you shower and stuff?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But I have naturally dry skin,
Yeah,
so
no,
I just
yeah,
like
it's fine.
in the wrong weather, it just,
Yeah.
you know.
It's the worst for me because I get very ashy and I shouldn't. Like people,
Yeah.
and I can see my ash.
I can see my ash too.
Yeah.
You know,
It is a little cool this
And
morning.
especially during COVID, you had to like always constantly wash your hands. I was like, I am so ashy
all the
all the
time.
time.
But
Yeah.
what was the question
Oh,
about the...
so we were talking about the difference between Toronto in
Oh, yes.
2014 and then Daniel Caesar here in New York in 2023. Because while there's some great benefits, there's also challenges that come with that.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say, yeah, like being perceived and like having to think about that all the time, like that's something I have to train. It's just that I want to enjoy myself all the time, and those are things I don't enjoy.
You can't just say what you think because it's
I
going to be
can't say
taken
what I
very
think.
differently coming from you
Yeah.
than it is by a random person
Yeah.
on social media.
And you have
And you
to
definitely learned that.
I learned that. I learned that the hard way. And also, like, I also learned, yeah, everything you do, you have to take into account. You have to live your life based on the thickest person, like the person that's last to the joke. You have to think about them at all times. You know what I mean? It's like in society, like you have to put up signs saying like, what's a good example? Like, you got to tell people not to just run into the middle of the road while there's traffic going on. Like, that should be obvious, but you have to put up these signs. You have to tell people on a coffee cup, you have to tell people, wait until it's cool before you drink it.
Right.
Because some people won't, and they'll burn, and then they'll sue you.
You have to be more responsible with
That's
with
a
what
way
you say.
better way.
Yeah,
there
there you
we
go.
go.
Yeah, we're thinking of it.
Thank
Citizen,
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
there
have
we
to
go.
be more responsible.
See, that was irresponsible. What I just.
It wasn't. You just couldn't
It's
find...
out. It's out. It's out. It didn't happen.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, you know what I mean. And so, it's things like that. It's simply just I don't enjoy it because also have a bad habit of like complaining about these things. Sometimes people close to me I'm whining about things that seem so inconsequential. Because me, 4 years ago when I was dusty musty, I would have given anything to have these issues.
Right.
And so I'm trying to be conscious of that and not complain because I love my life and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Right. I saw you right on Twitter that you love your life.
I love it.
But then you also said, why is it only ugly people telling me I'm ugly?
It's just crazy.
I saw that tweet even before you told me we were interviewing him. I was like, that's so funny.
So crazy because it's true, man. I'm really like, I used to feel so. I used to feel like I was ugly, and then I was just like, no. I'm not. I'm a handsome young man.
Yeah,
you know
Here
what I
we
mean?
go.
But then I'll just be feeling myself, and I'll just be on my shit. And then every time I see someone telling me that I'm ugly, I go and I'm like, let me do some research.
Let me see who this person is.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm never like, damn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the fact is that the people who are like happy in their lives, and I always say this, it's never somebody that like can dress well telling you can't dress, or somebody that's like attractive telling, because they don't think about that. Like
Exactly.
people that, I just feel like if you're happy in who you are and you want other people to feel that way too. So you don't go like bashing people unless you don't feel good about yourself.
Exactly.
And also, it's one thing to think something, but it's another thing to actually write it and tweet it and post it. Like, I just feel like it's a little weird.
It's
It can be a little weird.
People. It's unfortunate. People, like a lot of people, just don't have better things to do, and that's. I mean, I don't know whose fault that is, but that just is what it is, and I have to remember for myself.
Right. Go to your farm and take a moment.
Yeah, I got things I can do.
You definitely do.
I got things to do.
You definitely do.
I honestly don't have time to be reading comments about me, and that's a waste of my time when I do that.
Okay.
But
Did you really ever think at a time that you were going to be like canceled forever? Was that a fear of yours, or did you feel like I'll be okay?
no, I felt like I never like canceled is what it's kind of like. I never felt like I would go broke or something like that. Like I just felt like people wouldn't like me forever, and I feel like that all the time. I
There's
feel
always gonna
like
be a
the
few
majority
people.
of people would not like me. Do I think that people are gonna? I know they're gonna listen to my music because it's good, but are they gonna like? I also have to deal with them hating me and wanting the worst for me and expressing that to me because I'm very sensitive, but like that is what it is, and that's kind of. I created that scenario myself. That's all.
Right. But I also feel like taking accountability and responsibility is an important thing.
For sure.
Yeah, and even for you, like, I'm glad you put out an album because I've always been a Daniel Caesar fan, and I've always said that. And so I just feel like sometimes we can, like, go into a like, I don't even want to put myself out there because I don't want to. It's worse than what we think it is.
Yeah.
At times, I think. It is a lot of people that, like, will tweet, but I see a lot of positive responses with the music. So how do you feel now that the album is out?
I feel the same. I think the people, the naysayers, I don't think they were ever fans to begin with. I was just someone that they knew of.
Right.
And yeah, I think that there's always like everyone, it's the silent majority. You know what I mean? I think most people want to hear it and are pleased with it. And I know in my heart that, that I did my very best, and I believe in my heart this is my best work. And so the people that rode with me, like I rode for them, and I stayed down and I put my everything into this project, and this is for them.
And you've accomplished a lot even prior to this. You've always been a fan of John Mayer.
Yeah.
Right? And then you had the opportunity to really hang out with him. How did that happen?
How did that happen? I think he reached out to me. He reached out to me or through like my management or something like that. But my guys were just like, yo, John Mayer, he has this song that he wants you to hop on.
You were like, what?
A remix. I was, oh my God. He's the reason I can play guitar. Like my dad's actually here today. He'll tell you like
He is? Okay.
Yeah, so crazy. I know we've never done this before, but he's here today. And he'll tell you, yeah, I used to terrorize them in the house. They got me a guitar for my 10th birthday, and I would just play the same song over and over and over and
That's so
over.
funny.
Yeah, and it was always John Mayer.
And then he just knew who you were.
Yeah.
And just was reaching out to you.
What's
been the craziest person that you're like, I can't believe this person, like early on in your career, that let you know this is really happening?
Early.
Like who was on it super early that, because sometimes that validation is like.
Helps you continue.
Got it.
Keep going, yeah.
Pat the manager. Chance Stoll manager. That was one that I was like, oh, I can like really do this. Like he knows who I am. That's early. I'm trying to think. It was like people.
But those
honestly,
things mean
my
a lot.
managers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my managers at the time, Jordan Evans and Matthew Burnett, like they were like local hometown heroes. Like they had produced a bunch of not a bunch, but like some Drake songs, and then Not Afraid for Eminem. They did that with Boy Wonder, and they came to me and they're like, "Yo, we think that you can do this. We want to produce your album." And that for me was like really all that I needed to be like, "Oh, I can do this."
And were you always having some type of business acumen? Like, did you have your business together? We always hear stories of people that were like, and I was just like, yeah, let's go. And I signed it. And
yeah, no, I wouldn't describe myself as a businessman. I would describe myself as I'm not a dummy. And we were. I understand people to a certain point. It's like we were just all in it together, and so we the original idea was that they're going to make an album for me, and then I was just going to go off, sign to a label. I was going to pay them back their cut, and I would be a label artist. And then after the success of the first 2 projects, we were all just working along so well, and I was just like, yo, let's just make a company together. Let's just do this together. And they're the brains, you know what I mean?
Right.
But we all just own it.
Okay.
30-30-30.
I like that.
I like that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about your fans. I know that you said during the pandemic you felt like some distance, or they didn't really understand you, or something along those lines. Do you feel like your relationship with your fans is better, or is it the same?
Yeah, but also, I think it's really about my relationship with myself, because the fans are, whatever it is, it's real, but it's also not real. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They don't know me. Every time someone tells you that they love you, but they've never met you,
Right.
what is that really? That's just
They love
what they know about you,
Yeah.
and they love your work. They love your art.
Yeah.
exactly. And so it's my relationship with myself. When I'm cool with myself, then I'm fun to be around, and then it's fun to interact with my fans.
And you said you also have 3 albums of music waiting to come out.
Yeah.
So 3 full albums.
No, I just mean 3 albums worth.
Okay.
So I don't have like concepts and covers and all that stuff. I just I've made 3 iterations of this album that came out. And so I have a lot of songs.
What are you going to do with them?
My plan, I would like to have a period of high output. You know, remember when the Migos was dropping? It felt like every 3 months the Migos had a new album.
And Lil Wayne too. Remember Lil
Lil
Wayne?
Wayne used to drop
Oh my
all the
gosh.
time.
I feel like he set the standard of that.
Crazy.
Yeah. Definitely not nearly as frequent as
Like, oh, wow, I'm crazy.
No. I'm not trying to flood the market, but definitely I have, and also I'm so versatile. Like I have so many different types of music I enjoy making. And I believe in like a project being a complete dot. So it's like I'd love to like have my punk album and my gospel album,
Oh wow.
all these different things. And I mean, we'll see what happens. We might see me in 4 years and I haven't dropped anything.
Would you ever consider rapping?
I have, but I'm always discouraged from it. I don't think I'm very good at it.
Okay.
But I have, and I've in my heart.
In my heart, you're.
Are you a rapper in the shower? Maybe sometimes.
No one believes in me, but I believe in me. You know what I mean?
Sometimes that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Was it hard for you to decide what to put on this album? Because being that you have so much music, I'm sure some of the songs are amazing, but then it's also like what fits together.
Yeah, it was very difficult. And also, this is the longest. I've always told people I don't believe in 15-song albums. Anything more than 12 songs feels generally. But this album, that's what it told me it wanted to be, you know?
Right.
And then structuring, like sequencing it, trying to tell a story sonically and lyrically. It was tricky, but we got it.
I love how it started. I love Ocho Rios in the beginning as the first song.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Got me ready to go on vacation.
I know, right?
Well, listen, I do want to thank you for coming by, Daniel Caesar, because I've always wanted to have you on the show, even when I was on the Breakfast Club, and now I have my own show. And you bought chocolates.
Congrats.
Came with gifts.
I did.
Yeah, which, I had promised myself I'm going to cut back on the candy, but now I'll start next week.
Next.
I do that all the time. Next
Push it
week.
back a little bit.
Are there anything here? Any shrooms or anything? Or-
No.
Okay, just checking.
Next, if you're into it, next time.
And she is. So.
Have you ever had any crazy experiences?
Shrooming? Mm-hmm. I've had some amazing cries.
See, that's what I'm scared of.
It's good
No,
cry.
do it.
It's a good cry.
It's good.
It's a laughing so hard. I've had it where I was laughing so hard I couldn't stop crying.
See, so that's close. I had one where I was in a bad place. And I remember I was with a group of my friends, and I'm like, I'm not crying in front of my friends. Are you crazy? And so we're in a hot tub, and I go over to the pool next to it, and I'm just in there by myself, and I want to cry, and I start like laughing maniacally, like the
I like that
Joker or
word.
something. But it was just like, and I couldn't stop. It was like really loud and obnoxious, but I realized that laughing at like a good laugh and a good cry, they could like
Can they coexist?
There's a
fine line between them, right?
yeah, they might be two sides of the same coin or something. You know, it's a release.
Yeah, it was good.
It's a release.
Okay.
All right, so look, you're in New York. We're gonna try
You know what I mean? Yeah.
because it was an amazing. It's amazing, and Jasmine's never tried it. So,
I had a
Never
little
tried
tea,
it?
but I didn't go hard enough because I'm a scaredy cat. I feel like I might cry, and I don't.
You
but what's
should-
wrong with crying?
It's better than crying when you're not on shrooms.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And you're gonna cry eventually.
I'm
Like
gonna cry anyway. So.
Are you able
Yeah.
to like write things or really think while you're on shrooms? Because sometimes you have ideas and you're like, I can't even write this down. Like I physically couldn't.
I do. It depends. I like a microdose. Like I haven't done a big trip in a while because I just, you know what it is? It's those existential. It is scary.
Yeah, I'm scared.
You just gotta be. You have to like plan it out and take a day. But I did a mushroom trip. I wrote superpowers on this album,
Oh,
Okay.
and
I
I know
gotta listen
there's
to that again now.
one or two others. Unstoppable.
yeah,
That was a
I
nice
can see that.
shroom
It has a
MDMA
feel. It
sort
has
of.
that type of feel.
Yeah. It was great. So yeah, it was really cool.
What about sex on shrooms?
Sex on shrooms is great. It's really good. But you have to really, you can't have sex on shrooms with someone that you're like about.
Right.
He said, "Eh."
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like, you know, an ex that you hate. It's got to be like,
Somebody
the ex that
yeah.
you hate.
I want to spend time with you. Because you look at them and their face, like they could look scary. They could,
Right.
if you don't vibe with their spirit, like they might look
Yeah.
like a monster to you.
And then you write "shot my baby" and then that's that.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Get
song.
dark. Yeah, real dark, real quick.
I love that song.
Yeah,
I know.
thank you.
Yeah, she's a-
yeah, real one.
She's a real one. Watch out. All right. Well, Daniel Caesar, again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I know you're on tour also right now. So how's
Yeah.
that? Just make sure people know where to get their tickets and
It's sold out, but
Oh,
we're
that's
gonna
a
be
good
doing
problem
it.
to
It's a
have.
good problem. It's
Yeah.
like a small. We're doing Irving Plaza. I wanted to do like a small, intimate sort of,
Mm-hmm.
but just stand by because in the fall we have. I can't announce more than that, but after the summer we're gonna do a big tour, whole world.
all right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, we're looking forward to that. Thank you so much for
you go.
coming through
Thank
for
you,
the
of
first
course.
time ever.
And you guys,
definitely
if you
not
guys
the
want to come
last.
to Urban Plaza, you should.
Yes, we
should.
should.
If
It's
you want
sold
to.
out, but
We
we
should.
work it out.
No, I got.
Okay, you got
He
some
got
pull?
he got
Yeah,
a little
I know the guy. I know the guy.
little bit of pull.
Well, thank you. Way up at Angela Yee.